Hi everyone, I'm Nicholas. Today I'm going through a very in-depth analysis of Norwood Grand, and this is a very interesting new launch because this is the first new launch in Woodlands for over 12 years. And this is also done none other by CDL, a very reputable developer in Singapore. So the quality of the development is something that we can be absolutely confident of. So let's go straight into it. So this is the perspective of the condo itself. If you need more of this artist impression, feel free to reach out to me, I'll send more to you. So this is a location map of Norwood Grand. We are in the Woodlands area, but one of the selling points of this is we are 5 minutes away from Woodlands South MRT. And this is also very, very exciting because why? Woodlands as a location does not have many condos that are very near the MRT stations, even though we have MRT, Marsiling, Woodlands, and now Woodlands South. This might be the only condo that is within 5 minutes walk to the MRT station. So let's take a look at the nearer vicinity. So this is a close-up look at the location map. So Norwood Grand is over here, as you can see. We are surrounded by HDB estates. So we can take a look at this one. This is a new HDB BTO estate. This one is also another new BTO estate. These ones are older HDBs. And then we are also flanked with this Innova Primary School. So in terms of view, well, we don't really have much. So because we are, surrounded by HDB estates and they're all about 11 to 12 stories. Norwood Grand is also about 11 stories high. So in terms of view, I don't think we have that much of a view. So the main selling point here is really the proximity to Woodlands South MRT. But we will go into the details about which unit will have what kind of view and help you select which is your best choice also. But personally, I think, interestingly, if you don't mind the primary school facing, you can get a more unblocked view if you go maybe level 5 and above, because primary schools are usually up to level 4, level 5. So if you want more distance from the next development, facing Innova Primary, these units might be a better option. Interestingly, the address of this development is called Champions Way. So the little history about how this address came about is that sports school is here, it's currently here, but it's moving out, it's right over here. Well, sports school was the first development around this area, and Singapore gave this address Champions Way, and sports school has the address of 1 Champions Way, and this is very unique to this sports school development over here. Even though sports school is moving out, the address will still be there, and therefore Norwood Grand will have the address 2, 6, 8, and 10 Champions Way, which I think is a very, very interesting address. So these are some of the project information done by CDL, reputable developer, as we mentioned. One selling point over here is also we have an early childhood development center, or what we call the childcare. So this is extremely useful for families with young kids. You have a childcare center right at your doorstep. Then, as I mentioned just now, our address is very interesting, Champions Way 2, 6, 8, and 10. One key consideration that people may have is that our TOP date is in 2030, which is about 5 to 6 years later, which can be a challenge for many families. But if you are buying this for investment, right, this is something you can consider, is that other than your down payment which you pay at the start, your monthly mortgage, all of these will be spread out all the way until TOP, which means that your interest that you pay to the bank and all that, the cost is all minimized. So other than the down payment, actually you don't really need to pay much in terms of monthly mortgage all the way until your TOP, which is something to consider, because if you're an investor, you're buying to flip, this can minimize your outlay every month and your total cost in this investment. But of course, you're buying for own stay and you feel that, wow, this is too long, you don't want to wait for so long. Yes, it can be a consideration, but you can definitely also consider to rent in the interim while waiting for this development, because we'll go through in detail later, but this development is something that you shouldn't want to miss, especially if you're someone who is very fond of the north. We have total of 348 units over here as well. Car park is not 1-to-1, it's about more than 80% of car park lots, but this is expected because we are quite near to the MRT station. People who drive electric vehicles will be happy because we have 3 EV charging lots over here, and this is something that is good for you. And also for resale times, because your potential buyers may also be people who are driving the EVs. So next, let's go into the site plan and the unit distribution chart. So this is a site plan of Norwood Grand. as we mentioned earlier, we don't really have that much of a view and not so ideal view, because whatever unit you are facing, even though you are facing, for example, if you look at stack 10 and stack 7, you do get the swimming pool view over here, but on the higher floor, you do get the tennis court view as well. And sometimes people may not prefer the tennis court because of the noise it generates. So I would say, even if you're getting a pool view, you are not necessarily getting a much more premium view than the others. And all of this view facing, this is the primary school. Then this view will be facing the road plus the HDB. This one right now is the sports school, but after some time this will be moved. And right now we are not so sure what is the future development over here. So in general, Norwood Grand, in terms of view, we don't think that there's a very premium view and a less premium view per se. So yeah, this is the distribution chart of Norwood Grand. 8 units per level, and we have total 4 blocks. They are all quite evenly distributed. We have 1+ study unit all the way to the 4+ study unit. Every block has the same number of units per level, so I don't think there's any block that is more premium than the other. It's all pretty well mixed up. So this is the unit mix. 1+ study, as you can see, we have 31 units. The bulk of the unit will be the 2-bedroom. We have 77 units, 11, 43 units. The 3-bedroom in total is about 25 to 26% of the unit mix, whereas the 4-bedroom is about 28%. So bulk of the units will be the 1-bedroom and the 2-bedroom over here, make up 348 units, which is a relatively okay size, not too big, not too small. Indicative pricing. So CDL has published the indicative pricing for Norwood Grand. The 1+ study is going from $98,000. So this is the chart of how the prices will be like. 1+ study starting from $98,000, 2-bedroom from $1.238, 3-bedroom deluxe less than $1.7 million, 4+ study 2.2 million. As you can see, the PSF also goes down as we go to a bigger bedroom type, and this is also understandable. But these PSFs are very, very attractive in today's market because it's extremely difficult to find new launch development that is going less than 2,000 PSF in today's market, even though we are in the outside central region. But Woodlands is also an upcoming area where there's a lot of development. We are very close to MRT station. At a price of less than 2,000 PSF, this is extremely attractive. Also because this is also a CDL development, so you won't get any scare in terms of TOP date when you collect your keys. You won't get a nightmare because you know that being CDL, all the quality is definitely guaranteed. So let's go straight into layout. So first thing, we go for the 1+ study layout. So the 1+ study layout is quite standard. As you come in, the main entrance is over here. There is a good study over here, which is tucked aside. It's not just one random corner, which is great. We do have a nice kitchenette over here. Dining is over here. Living, master bedroom seems pretty big. Queen size, maybe even a king size may fit. And a master bath that is over here. One good thing is that the master bath is also a Jack and Jill, so you can access via the living room or via the room. And this is great, because if you do host guests, your guests do not need to enter the master bedroom in order to enter the master bathroom. So this 1+ study is actually quite a good layout in today's market. What I like about this layout is that the study is actually tucked one side instead of one corner that is close to the dining area. There's only 31 units and they're all facing HDB all over here, which is understandable because this is the smallest bedroom type. Usually they will give the less premium facing to the 1+ study. So let's try to understand how do the 1-bedroom and the 1+ study fare in the Woodlands area. Even though there are about 508 units of 1-bedroom in Woodlands area, and these developments are at Woodhaven, Rosewood Suites, Park Rosewood, which is relatively close to where we are. This is Norwood Grand. And bear in mind, Woodhaven, Rosewood Suites, and Park Rosewood, these are developments that are more than 15 years, 19 years, 16 years old, yet only 5% of these units are for sale. Only 23 units are for sale. So what does this mean? This probably means that the rental yield of these units are very good, so that landlords do not think that they need to let go because it's a bad investment for them. So it's likely that Woodlands as an area, they are getting very good rental yields, and that's why landlords do not see the need to sell in any market. So the 5% is actually a very healthy signal to us. So if you are someone looking to buy a 1+ study in Norwood Grand for rental, for passive income. This is something you can consider because according to the past statistics, it is proven in Woodlands that 1 bedroom is doing very well in the rental market. So when Norwood Grand TOPs about 5 to 6 years later, you will be the only condo that is less than 10 years old and that is 5 minutes away from an MRT station. So this is definitely a selling point because why? Tenants will always be looking for proximity to MRT because this is very, very important to them. And I think that the 1+ study will definitely have a very good value both for tenant and landlords when it comes to TOP stage. However, we do understand that Norwood Grand, it takes about 5 to 6 years. So if you're just buying this for rental income and you want to get your first rental income only 5 to 6 years later, this is something that you should also consider because if you just want that passive income, there may be also other options that you can explore. But if you're buying 1+ study to flip, then the 5 to 6 years runway is actually perfect for you. So let's compare how do the other 1+ study layouts are like in the nearby development. So first we have the Woodhaven. Woodhaven, the layout is actually very good. We have a proper study over here. We have a home shelter, kitchen, dining, and the rest is pretty similar. The master bath here is also Jack and Jill. Park Rosewood, well, we also have a home shelter. The study is much smaller. This is the kind of study that I feel that is less than ideal because you can't really fit a very good size study area in this kind of corner. By the bath and everything else is also very similar to what we have in Norwood Grand. So Woodhaven, we have an average rental of $2,833. Park Rosewood, $2,750. So we are estimating Norwood Grand to have about $2,800 in terms of rental. So if you are getting some of rental, what would be the rental yield that we can expect? So since CDL has already announced that the 1+ study is starting from $988,000. The best kind of rental yield, if we do assume a $2,800 per month, would be about 3.4%. If you ask me, this is a pretty decent rental yield, but of course, if you want the best kind of rental yield in the outside central region, I think there are other options that can potentially give you 4%, but 3.4% really is not that bad. But if you ask me, I think if you want to buy a 1+ study in the current market, probably might be good to sell as a sub-sale even before TOP to get that good high 5-figure or low 6-figure gains and just move on to your next investment opportunity. So next, the 2-bedroom layout. Okay, the 624 square feet is the smallest 2-bedroom layout. They are all facing outwards, facing the HDB over here. There are 77 units, so this is the bulk of the 2-bedroom layouts. When we come in, this is the main entrance. We have a very nice kitchen over here that's tucked one side. There's enclosable, but of course we don't have a window over here. It's a dumbbell layout, so there's no wasted space for the walkway. Bedroom 2 and the master bedroom over here. Both bathrooms are kind of en suite, so the master bath is not accessible to the dining. Whereas the bathroom 2 is accessible for the dining and also from the bedroom. So this is a Jack and Jill for the bathroom 2. All in all, I think this is a very, very good layout because there's no wasted space. The dining area though might be a bit smaller because as you can see, even though you feel a 4-seater over here, it is a bit on the smaller side. But since it's 624 square feet, I think this is actually a very compact layout and really there's no wasted space. Every square feet you're purchasing is really bang for the buck. So I would say this is a very, very good layout. The next 2-bedroom layout would be the 667 square feet. So this would be the more conservative layout because all of the bedroom is flanked to one side. After you come in, the kitchen will be like the other kind of kitchenette that we see from other condos. So we have the kitchen over here and over here, which in my opinion is less than ideal. Then the dining and living area, which is the same as the 1+ study layout. Bathroom 2 does not have a window, whereas the master bath does have a window. However, in this layout, one of the shortfall, in my opinion, is that even though we have a very big master bedroom, the light entering in to the master bedroom is actually very limited because the window is only from here. So when the light enters, actually this part of the room would be considered quite dark. So even though we have a very big master bedroom, you have a study that is part of the master bedroom, your master bedroom will feel pretty dark generally. Even though the master bath does come with a window, I don't think this layout is actually as great as the previous one. The next layout will be the 2+ study at 710 square feet. When we come in, same thing, this is a conventional layout where all the bedrooms are tucked into one side. Kitchen is an L shape over here. Study is at this corner. So we have a very big area over here that can be utilized in your common area. What I feel about this layout is that it is better than the previous layout, but the study isn't quite big. So I feel that in resale times, maybe most people will be using the dining area in this study area instead. Yeah, so if let's say people were to use the dining area at the study, then in resale times when people come to view your house to buy, they may not see that much difference between this layout and the 624 square feet layout. Another thing to take note also is that both bathrooms for here do not come with windows, so this is also very similar to a 624 square feet. However, one key thing to take note is that the facing, these are all the premium facing, so there might be a slight premium in terms of the PSF for these layouts. So now let's compare the two bedroom layouts. Between the two, the 624 square feet and 667, as I mentioned before, I feel that the 624 square feet is better because I really don't like the smaller window in the master bedroom because that makes it more claustrophobic. And also I feel that even though there's a window in the master bath, I rather have a bigger window pane for the master bedroom. Also for the kitchen, I prefer an enclosable kitchen or a kitchen tucked into one side over here as compared to a kitchenette because it makes the kitchen area much bigger. So between these two layouts, I'll definitely go for the 624 square feet. Comparing the 667 square feet and the 710 square feet, once again the 667 square feet windows in the master bedroom isn't quite preferred, so I'll go for the 710 square feet because I think the area over in the study and the kitchen, dining area over here, this area over here is much more usable than the 667 square feet because the dining area over here might be a bit small. So because of that, I would prefer the 710 square feet. Now let's compare then the 624 square feet and the 710 square feet. So this is a bit more interesting because now we are comparing the smallest unit, 2-bedroom unit type and the biggest 2-bedroom unit type, 624 square feet versus 710 square feet. The similarity over here is that both layouts do not come with windows in the toilet. So on this front, it is similar. It is a fair comparison. But one thing to take note is that if we compare at the same PSF at $2,000 over here, based on the size difference only, we are looking at a $170,000 difference in price. So if you ask me, I think the $170,000 is not quite worth it because the study over here is not quite a very proper study in my opinion. So therefore, I would still prefer this layout, the 624 square feet, since the $170,000 premium is quite high. So there you go. Our top choice for 2-bedroom is the 624 square feet, the dumbbell with the tucked-in kitchen at one side. The good thing is we do have quite a lot of options here because there's 22% of the supply in this 2-bedroom bedroom type. So this is something that you should definitely consider. Next, let's go for the 3-bedroom layout. So 3-bedroom, first let's compare the two C1 and C2. This is the 872 square feet and the 883 square feet. In terms of facing, they're all quite similar because they're all facing outwards. One is facing the Innova Primary School and the other one is facing the current sports school. So based on these two layouts, right, the key difference that we can really see is just the entrance foyer area, which the 872 square feet gives you a proper foyer, and the 883 square feet does not give you a proper foyer where the main door when you open, you can just go straight into it. So in my opinion, based on these two layouts, I'll definitely prefer this layout because this foyer can be extremely important in terms of privacy. You can in fact build some storage over here to increase your storage space. So based on these two layouts, definitely I'll go for the 872 square feet. And just now, as I mentioned, I would prefer the primary school facing if I can go for higher floor, just because I can get a better setback from the next development. So 872 square feet would definitely be my pick. Now next, we look at the 3-bedroom plus study, but this is a smaller 3-bed plus study at 904 square feet. These units are also at a premium facing over here. so we can expect a slight premium in terms of the PSF. Okay, in terms of layout, interestingly, they are going for the more dumbbell looking like layout. So we have 1 bedroom over here and 2 bedrooms over here. But a couple of setbacks for this layout is that, number one, we don't have any windows in the master bath. We don't have any windows in the bathroom too. The next thing, we also do not have any windows in the wet kitchen. So I feel that because of all these reasons, this is quite a huge setback for a 3-bedroom layout, because most of the families who are looking for 3 bedrooms are looking for your windows in your kitchen and your bathrooms. The study over here, while it seems decent, but I feel that the space could be better utilized, or it could be better planned out for the study. And another thing to highlight is that when you come in, right, if you do stand over here, there's not much privacy for this layout, because this person standing over here, if the doors are all open, they can see everything of your house. And for the profile of people who buy 3 bedrooms, usually would prefer a bit of privacy. So this layout will fall quite flat in terms of that. And that's why I don't think that this is a very good layout. Oh, another thing to take note. If you see the aircon latch over here, outside the bedroom 2 and bedroom 3, this means that your walls will be half. That also means that, lesser light will be entering into your bedrooms. And another thing that's another setback in terms of this bedroom type, because 3 bedrooms, most of the people are expecting corner units, most people are expecting windows in your bathrooms, your kitchen, and also full window heights for bedroom 2 and 3 as well. Okay, next let's look into the 3-bedroom plus premium. The C4PS and C5PS, these are the same sizes, 1044 square feet. In terms of facing, they are quite similar. C4PS, we are facing the Innova Primary School. C5PS, we are also facing the primary school and also the HDB estate. One key difference is that the C4PS, we do have a nice foyer over here, which increase the privacy. Well, C5PS, we do not have that foyer to increase the privacy. So that's just it. What I like about this layout is that the balcony is not the biggest. In fact, they only built the balcony up to the living area, which is really, really sweet. Because most of the other developments, when they build this kind of landscape layout, where the living and, in this case, the study is created, they would tend to build the balcony from here all the way to here. Okay, maybe I use another different color. They'll build the balcony all the way like that. So what this means to you is that, you have to pay wasted space over here, and that's something that most buyers do not want to. So the fact that they're building a smaller balcony, this is actually very good, and it does not compromise your natural lighting entering into the unit, because you see with such a big window, the light can enter all the way over here, and this area over here will also be very, very well lit at your dining area. So this is a very, very nice layout. All the bedrooms can fit a queen size bed. All the bathrooms comes with windows. That's perfect. We have a wet kitchen, dry kitchen, home shelter within the kitchen area. We have a proper yard. We have a WC. WC comes with windows. Yard comes with windows. This is a very, very good layout. It's very comfortable for families for own stay. And I think this layout might be the most popular in resale times, because we are surrounded by HDB estates, isn't it? So when these HDB families want to upgrade, they'll be looking at layouts which they can accept. So how do they determine that? They'll definitely be looking at layouts that's very similar to their current HDB layouts. And this layout, I think, is something that they definitely can accept, because it's quite similar to their HDB layout, just that, we have an additional balcony and we have a much wider living and study area, because this is a 3+ study. So all in all, both layouts, I think they're all quite good. If you ask me if I had to choose one, I'll definitely choose this one, because of this tucked in foyer at one side to increase the privacy. Because in terms of facing, I don't think they differ that much. So yeah, I'll prefer the C4PS. But this is also more limited at only 3%. Okay, next, let's compare all the 3+ study layouts. So initially, we started with a 904 square feet. This is the compact 3+ study, and we're expecting the price to be about 1.789. And then the C4PS, we are expecting at about 2.004. Of course, this is just an estimated price. The big question here is that, given these price differences, is it worth paying additional 214,000, which is equal of 12% more? Is this worth? So let's find out now. So based on other new launches, let's look at what are the transactions in other new launches to see whether this is a norm. So in Lentor mentioned, a compact 3-bedroom, 904 square feet was transacted 1.991, and this is on the 5th floor. We compare it with a premium outward-facing 5th floor unit that was transacted at 2.242, and this is a premium of 12.6%. So this tells us that actually a 12%, 13% premium is actually quite standard. 3 compact with a premium facing compared with a 3 premium with a outwards facing unit. Next we have Lentor Hills. Lentor Hills wise, same thing, a compact 5th floor, 969 square feet, 1.846. This is an inwards facing unit, compared with a 5th floor outwards facing unit at 2.088 million, and the premium is 13.1%. So there you have it. A 12 to 13% premium is actually quite standard, even in other developments, given in this kind of scenario. So then let's look into resale terms, whether if we do pay the premium for a premium layout, will we earn more? So let's look at Affinity at Serangoon. So first thing, let's ignore the prices and the ROIs. Let's look at the layout first. On the left-hand side, the 8th floor unit, 3-bedroom compact, 904 square feet. The layout, you enter, you have a kitchen over here. There's a window at this side. But the whole layout is a bit off. It's not a very standard layout. Your dining is quite compact in this area. Living is quite small. And a bedroom one side, 2 bedrooms on the other side. So if you ask me, this is not a very ideal layout, because even though you do get a windows in the kitchen, it's not a full and closable kitchen. Dining area is very cramped, and the bedrooms, while you can put all 3 queen-size bed, you do not feel like it's a 3-bedroom layout. So when anybody comes in to view, in resale times, they probably do not feel that this is a 3-bedroom kind of size. Compared with the 3 premium, the 1076 square feet over here, this is a very standard layout. You come in, you have a proper 6-seater and the living area over here, kitchen, yard, utility, all of these are very standard of a 3 premium layout. And so in resale times, when we put side by side, a buyer probably would go and view the compact and the premium together. And we see that the compact only earns 70% in terms of ROI, whereas the premium earn about 103%. So why is this the case? Probably because when people see that there's a definitely better layout in terms of the premium one, they are more willing to pay the premium for these bigger size units. Next, let's look at Garden Residences, and this is just a project beside Affinity. The compact 797 square feet. The layout wise is very similar. If you put the 2 layouts between the 3-bedroom compact and 3+ study, I would say they are quite similar, with the difference that the bedroom 3 over here can only put a single bed. Other than that, they are quite similar. Of course, there's a study over here. Yet, the ROI 94%, 112%, the premium earn about 20% higher. So the earnings for this one is maybe a bit lower than what we saw previously on Affinity, maybe because the difference between the compact and the premium is not that huge. Yeah, but what I want to say is that for Norwood Grand, because the 3-bedroom, because the 3+ study over here, this layout is not that ideal. In resale times, when people come and view and compare the two, compare this layout, and these 2 layouts, they probably would prefer the layouts over here. Yeah, just because they cannot feel the size in the 904 square feet, they will rather pay a bit more for the 1144 square feet, because they need the size. There you have it. So our top choice for the 3-bedroom premium is definitely the 1144 square feet, be the C4 PS or the C5 PS, and we think that with the 12% premium, it's absolutely worth it, because you have a landscape living room, which is very rare in today's market for a 3-bedroom. You usually get this in a 4-bedroom layout, and the study is very functional. You can box it up like that, or you can keep it open to have a very big living and study area. But most importantly, you have a lot of ambient lighting coming into the living area, which is perfect. So yeah, in terms of layout, they have everything that we expect in a 3-bedroom premium to have. We have it, and we also have the landscape layout. So definitely, this is a very good layout, also because 1144 square feet is a very good size to fit everything in. So in terms of PSF, this is definitely very bang for the buck. So next, let's go to the 4-bedroom layout. So 4-bedroom, 1173 square feet. This is also quite a very good layout. First thing we enter, we have this foyer over here, which increase the privacy. We have the wet kitchen, the yard, home shelter. This is all very similar with the 3-bedroom plus study layout. And the dining here, we can fit an 8-seater, which is perfect because for 4-bedroom, most of the people who buy 4 bedrooms have very big families, or even during festivities period, you'll be hosting guests, a lot of people will be coming over. So a huge dining area is very, very important to you. Living area though is a bit smaller than a 3+ study from the 1044 square feet. So that's something to take note. In terms of bedroom, we do have bedroom 3, bedroom 2, bedroom 4, all can fit a queen size bed. Although one thing to highlight is that the bedroom 4, the queen size bed have to be tucked into the wall, which is also okay because we have the aircon latch over here, which means that this is a half-length wall. The bed can be tucked to one side and it still would be okay. So all in all, I think this is a very good layout. It's quite cool that they can fit 4-bedroom with queen size bed, a very good living dining layout that is below 1,002 square feet. So there you have it. This is the 4-bedroom plus study. And a proper study area over here nonetheless. So this is what I mean by a very, very good study layout compared to the 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom. But of course, we understand for a more compact layout, it's very difficult to build a very big study in the 1 and 2-bedroom. But this kind of study area is very functional and it's very well accepted in the resale market. So next, we have a big jump. We are going to the 1313 square feet and 1335 square feet. And you want to see what are the differences. Okay, so between the two, honestly, between the two, this one is the longer foyer compared to this. Then other than that, between the two, I don't see that much of a difference. Comparing this and the previous layout, the key thing would be the walk-in wardrobe. And then the bedroom 4, you have a bit more space. And also a balcony. And then that is about it, because your living area and your dining area is about the same. Your 200 square feet, thereabout, that's the key differences. So yes, as I pointed out just now, these are key differences. And then let's look into the pricing and see whether this is worth it. So 1173 square feet and 1313 square feet. Okay, let's assume the 1173 is 1908. So this figure was provided by the developer. We are looking at a starting price of 2.238 million. Okay, why did we give a 1940 PSF for the 1313 square feet? It's because these are of your premium facing. So we are giving a higher PSF to note the premium facing, and we are looking at a staggering $309,000 difference between the two. So if you ask me whether this is worth it, I don't think so. Because why? In resale times, when people come and view these two units, first thing is they will feel the living area, whether they can feel any difference. But if you were to stand here and here, I don't think you can feel much of a difference. And that's why I don't think in resale times people will be willing to pay that much of a premium just for the 1313 square feet. Next, let's compare the 1173 square feet and the 1335 square feet. The price difference would be $351,000, slightly higher just because this one is of a bigger size. And once again, I don't think this is quite worth it because in terms of facing, it's not so much of a premium view in my opinion. And also, in resale times, I don't think the buyers are willing to pay the difference because they might not be able to feel the difference in the living and dining area. So therefore, our top choice for the 4-bedroom is the 1173 square feet. The smaller layout, yet you're getting bang for the buck. You have everything you need, but bear in mind there's only 6% of unit here. There's only 22 units, 2 stacks. We expect the demand to be really high for these 2 stacks. So this question we have is it worth upgrading from a 3-bedroom plus study to a 4-bedroom? So looking at this, in terms of the pricing, to upgrade from a 3+ study to the 4-bedroom, we are looking at a premium of $233,000. In terms of layout, what is the difference? For the 3-bedroom plus study, we do see a bigger living area and study area over here, whereas the 4-bedroom living area is a bit smaller, but you do get a bigger dining area instead, and also of course a 4th bedroom. For $233,000, I think it's absolutely worth it because just now, as you can see, the 2-bedroom and the 2+ study, the difference is about $170,000 already. So for $233,000 at this quantum, I think it's absolutely worth it. If you do have the budget, you can definitely consider to upgrade to the 4-bedroom. Now let's compare the 3-bedroom plus study to the 4-bedroom deluxe plus study, the 1313 square feet. Is it worth it to top up $542,000 for the 4+ study? Because it's at $542,000, I don't think it's quite worth it because the 3+ study layout is actually very good already. And for the premium, for the balcony, the walk-in wardrobe, you can do so much better by just upgrading to the previous layout for the 1173 square feet layout instead. So yes, my verdict, I don't think it's worth the upgrade. If you are just looking to upgrade from 3+ study to a 4-bedroom, do not go for the 1313 square feet. So there you have it. We have come to the end of the Norwood Grand analysis. I hope you have enjoyed this very in-depth analysis of Norwood Grand. Preview starts very soon, this Saturday, or is it this Friday? Just 2 weeks period. We expect a huge demand for this new launch. If you want more info, please feel free to reach out. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe, like this video and comment, and let me know how I can improve in my next videos. If not, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.